Hi, I am Rachel Ramos, and I am the founder of Team Drive Dynasty. And I'm here to talk a little bit about how I became a Beachbody Coach, why I decided to do it, and a little bit about my starting journey. So, some of you might be considering becoming a coach, or maybe you're already a coach and you're just kind of checking out what other people are doing, or maybe you just know me and you want to know how I started. So, I just want to start at the very, very, very beginning of health and fitness. That's where it began with me. I am actually not someone who's ever was into health and fitness. As a kid, I was very anti anything that made me sweat. I wasn't into sports. I was never an athlete. I avoided exercise at all costs, to be honest. I really didn't know much about exercise. I didn't know anything about eating right. I came from a southern family. We ate a lot of fried food and dessert. Everything cooked in grease. That was just my life. And like in PE as a kid, I did everything I could to get out of it. I have epilepsy, actually. I found out in 6th grade I had my first seizure. And the one good thing that came out of that was that I got to get out of PE. I had like a free get out of PE card from then on. It was pretty awesome. I wasn't supposed to get like I don't know, it was supposed to be like exercising hard. It could cause me to have a seizure. They didn't know like what all would cause me to have a seizure at the time. So I was like, yeah, like I never have to go back to PE. For me, it was like amazing. And so it's kind of funny that here I am as a Beachbody coach, right? And that fitness is a thing for me. As I got older, when I was in college, I started to exercise more. I was more conscious of my body image, I guess. Really, to be honest, I just wanted to be thinner. I was always a little bit overweight, probably because of the way I ate and the fact that I never exercised. But I started to exercise. I had friends that exercised, and I would do it like sporadically with them. Sometimes we would go to like the college gym. I went to the University of Florida. Or we would run or something. I hated it. Like, I hated it. I wasn't into it. I really I didn't lose any weight. Like, I wasn't ever, I still ate bad. I didn't know anything. I did get thin in college, but it was not for that. It was for very unhealthy reasons. So anyway, fast forward a bit. After I got married later, I had 2 little girls, and I gained a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight in pregnancy. I ate terrible and I didn't exercise. Still, it was pretty much my norm, right? Only worse, amplified because I was pregnant. And afterwards, I was at a point where my daughter was probably, I think she was just about 2 years old, my youngest, and I was going to an event with my husband, or we were supposed to, and the next day, and I was looking for a dress, and I was in my closet looking for a dress, and I was trying on things, and nothing fit me, and everything was just tight, and I didn't like it. I was looking in the mirror, and I didn't feel good about myself, and the sizes of the clothes that I was trying on were the biggest sizes I had ever worn. Were they huge? No, they weren't huge. They were. I think it was like an 8, and for me, it was big. I'm a petite person. I'm kind of short. It was the biggest size I had ever worn, and whether or not anyone feels like that's small or big, that's really not. It was my own journey, right? So, for me, I felt like it was very depressing. It was very sad. Like, for me, I was very sad about that. I also, at the time, I was tired all the time. I had like no self-confidence. I didn't want my husband to see me naked. I didn't play with my girls hardly at all. So I was just like tired. Like, I was just like no energy. I don't know. I just was not feeling like amazing, right? So that night, I kind of sat on my floor and cried. I just cried because I felt so frustrated and so like down and out about everything. But I also I knew that I had control of it, right? Like, I knew that I could make a change, and that I could, in that moment, I was just like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to make a change. I had a friend who from high school who we were still Facebook friends. We didn't really talk much, but we were Facebook friends, and she was a coach, and she was always posting stuff about it. And I had actually once tried Insanity, and I hated it, and I cried because it was really hard. Anyway, I messaged her. We started talking, and she had a challenge group coming up, and she was telling me about it and how it had helped her, and she had like lost all this weight and she was doing really great. But she decided, or she told me about T25, this program that had short workouts, and it was like a more beginner level, and she told me like it had helped her a lot and she loved it. So I decided to give it a try. I gave it a try, ordered my first ever challenge pack. I had T25 and chocolate Shakeology, and I was in her challenge group, and I thought it was going to be lame. I thought it was like, whatever. But I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved the group atmosphere, even though it's virtual, like on a phone or whatever, it's like really close. Like you really kind of get close with the women, and we were all cheering each other on, and it made me feel a little more accountable. Like I knew that I had to go in there and say that I had worked out, and I wanted to just kind of, be true to that. I invested in it. I really wanted to change my life, and the group gave me that extra push to keep it going and not quit. So before that, I'd kind of been a quitter. I had some home workouts. I quit them all. But this time, with that group aspect, I didn't quit. And I loved that. And after I finished that program, it's like a 2-month program, I lost 3 pant sizes, and I was literally in the best shape I had ever been in. Even when I was like thin in college, I wasn't healthy, right? So this time I couldn't believe it. Like I could not believe it. It was amazing. I loved it. I was happy. I was confident again. I had joy. I had energy. It was like a complete 180. My coach asked me if I wanted to be on her team, and I told her no. Because I thought it was a pyramid scheme. I was like, do I look stupid to you? I totally thought that. I was like, no way. Plus, I was really busy. I was working a full-time job. I had 2 kids. I was like, there's no way that I could even build a business if I thought this was a viable thing. Like, there's no way that I would be able to build my own business. I just don't have time for that. She was like, okay, fine. Whatever. Over time, probably like 6 months later, she had asked me a couple more times in there. I was still in her challenge groups. I was still exercising, trying to keep up that healthy lifestyle. I still loved the programs. And then one day she posted about her financial success with this business. And I had another friend who was also doing it from high school. I was like, all right, these people, it seems to be working for them. Like maybe there is some credibility here. I don't know. So I just decided to check out a little coaching info event she was putting on to learn more about it. Just to learn. Like no obligation. I just wanted to learn, right? So I was in there, and I found out it wasn't a pyramid scheme. If you're curious about that, I do have a video, so scroll through my videos. I've got one that explains it, and explains the difference in case you, too, also think it's a pyramid scheme. But once I found out that it wasn't, and I kind of understood more about it, and I researched more and everything, I was like, sign me up. I'm going to try this. I didn't know if I was going to be good at it. I'm like the opposite of a fitness person, but I did love the programs, and I could totally share about that, and I could totally relate to people who felt like I did, and were bummed out about where they were in their lives and as far as their health and everything, and the happiness and the empowerment and the strength that it had given me. I really wanted to I thought it would be amazing to be able to help other people do that. I wasn't sure that I was going to really be fulfilled by this whole idea of helping people. It wasn't something that I had ever done before, experienced before, or really I was almost kind of whatever, that's silly, who cares? But once I started, I fell in love with it. Once the first person in my challenge, I got a couple people into my challenge group. I was real excited. We were exercising together, whatever. And then when they messaged me on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I've lost 5 pounds, and I just went down a size in my pants. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for helping me." I was like, "Oh, you're welcome." I love this. And I loved it. I was in love. At that point, I didn't care. I wanted to be successful, obviously, but I knew that this was for me. I had fun with it all the time. I get to be creative. I get to be my own boss. I get to decide when I'm going to do stuff. I have this whole community of coaches to be part of, all these fun events to go to. It's amazing. It's the best job I've ever had. And it's so fulfilling for me. And So no matter what was ever happened, even if I never made a dime, I wouldn't quit. I may have to get another job if I never made a dime. But I wouldn't quit because it's so fulfilling and I love it so much. Luckily, in my journey, I was able to use the income that I was making from this while I was using it as a second job, because I was working full time when I started. I used it to pay off all of my debt, paid off all my credit cards, I paid off all my my student loan, and we paid off our car. And then I was able to quit my other job, and now I can do this full time, which I love. It's so much fun. It's like a dream come true. Now, obviously, how much you make from this, there's no guarantee how much you're going to make in this, like, you know, from the legal guys. It all depends on your own talents and efforts and dedication and all that sort of thing. So there's no guarantee, but, you know, it definitely has been a dream come true. It changed my life, changed the lives of my family. I'm home with my kids more. I'm able to be there for them, volunteer in their classes. It's just amazing. It's been a dream come true, and that's pretty much my journey. It's pretty much how I started, why I started, my original objections, and how I got past them, and so thankful for this opportunity. But I hope that helps you in your own decisions, whether it's to join our team or to join whoever's team somebody else invited you to coaching. I hope that you go for it, because it's amazing. And if you are interested in our team and you just want to know like more about it, you can contact me at any time. My email address is rachel.ramos1107 at gmail.com. It's rachel.ramos1107 at gmail.com. And I'm also on Facebook. You can look me up, or hashtag FitDrivenMom. You'll find all my posts if you want to see what I'm posting about. But yeah, I'd love to share more about the business with you if you're interested. All right, I hope you guys have an awesome day.